Greetings, land of YouTube. Before I get this video started, I want to show how to go to my homepage, because in this video, I'm going to refer back to the videos I've been making. So if you ever want to go to a channel's homepage, all you got to do, so this is my last video, so this is what you would see if you're watching my last video. What you do is you go down here and click on my name, Bitcoin Street. That will take you to my homepage, and then there's another link here for videos. The homepage usually will have some playlists and whatnot. Click on videos, and that shows all my recent videos, starting with the most recent. And these last handful of videos, I've been talking about Bitcoin on the daily chart. I have this channel and this triangle drawn here. I've been showing this Wyckoff cycle chart up here in the top right. Compare that to this Bitcoin, starting back here in the late 2020. Accumulation, reaccumulation, distribution, redistribution. In my opinion, we're going to be dropping down further. Now, I could be wrong about that, but I like it until I see something different. I like it. I know there's plenty of folks saying Bitcoin is going to pump up from here. The problem with that is if you just take a look at volume, and I've been talking about volume, it's just so low. See how low that is? That's some of the lowest volume of all of 2021. There's other little periods like in April, right before the Coinbase IPO. It's kind of, everyone's just kind of sitting there, not really doing anything. Other than that, you got to go basically back to 2020 to find volume this low. On top of that, a lot of it's red. This is the hourly chart. So in that last chart was the daily. It was showing these last three daily candles. Red one going down to about here, green one pumping back up. That was about here or so. Well, that was last video. Green one pumping back up, retesting off the bottom of the triangle. And now we've got confirmation. I was expecting some big players to step in here and really short it hard. And I think that did occur right here from 34,000 all the way down to 33,200. But it's just not enough. Like I say, the volume's not really there for any sort of pump for sure. And there's just not enough selling pressure either, really, to drive it down. Now, Bitcoin will follow the path of least resistance, right? That's a guarantee. So whichever way, up or down, whichever way has the least resistance, that's which way it'll go. And in my opinion, I think we're going down, folks. In my last video, I was talking about this perhaps coming down and bouncing off the bottom of this channel, maybe even breaking down through it. But it seems like it's just not really volume. Volume's kind of the key here, right? So money is definitely leaving this market. This channel is going down. Back here on the daily chart, you know, it's obvious which way that channel is pointing, right? Now, it does kind of resemble a bear flag, which would eventually break up. But until we see volume, that's just not, it's impossible, right? There needs to be big, juicy green bars. And that's just not happening. Money clearly is leaving this market. No one can argue against that. That's going down. We've been going down. Technically, we've been going down since the first week of May 10th. Everything after May 10th is going down. We've been in this channel for since about May 23rd, May 22nd, right about there. We had one fake out to the upside. I'm sure a lot of people got burned there. YouTubers telling people back then, oh, we're jumping back up to 50, 60,000. There it is on the hourly. Massive shorts, the second most shorts in the history of Bitcoin. I'm pretty sure I have that stat right. It's definitely close if that's not totally true. All the way from 41,300 to 28,800. That was the course of about 6 or 7 days. Huge, right? So the path of least resistance, I do believe, is down. A FUD story could come out, and it could create a cascading event. So back here on this fake out of this triangle, out of this channel, I should say, lots of longs, lots of highly levered longs were probably put in place, and a lot of them probably got liquidated down through here, plus panic selling. It created this spring here. A lot of people were calling this a Wyckoff accumulation spring. That's another huge fake out. Right, a Wyckoff accumulation. It's supposed to come here off the spring, up, down, and right here is where that accumulation that you saw many YouTubers talking about for a long time. I don't know why. It never resembled accumulation to begin with. But right here, it was supposed to come up here and do something like this, and then consolidate and then blast off, right? So that's clearly not matching this accumulation. If you hear anyone still talking about accumulation, just know that it was supposed to follow basically that line I just drew up there, or not to the perfectly, but it was supposed to do something about like that, right? And that clearly did not happen. We've actually lost $3,000 since then. So the volume is a little different from site to site. I've noticed this is Kraken, and on Kraken, you can clearly see the volume, of course, is going to be low wherever you look, but the red is a little bigger on Kraken than it was on that last site, Phoenix. The red down days, the volume is larger than the green up days. See how that's working? Mostly, that's mostly true. So we still got about 3 hours in this red candle here, this red bar, and I'm imagining it'll come up a touch further than these last 4 or 5 green ones. So basically 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, these 6 red bars are all going to be a little taller than these 5 green ones, and that says dump, right? But it's slow. So I've always been expecting these, like a big death candle, right? Like we've been experiencing on these dumps. But I don't think there's enough liquid, or liquid might not be the right word. I don't think there's enough highly leveraged longs that can be liquidated, right? So I've been kicking around. Maybe we don't get that big devastating dump. Now, of course, as soon as I say that, it might happen tonight, right? It's kind of how it works sometimes. But on the daily chart, you can clearly see we came down. If you watch my last video, came down, broke out of the triangle, came back up the next day. This is the daily chart. Retested right on it. Look at that. See that? Came back down. Well, kind of went to the side a bit. If you look at that hour, remember the hourly chart. Came back, retested it again, and now it's dumping down about 33,000. And I've noticed over the last if you go back to the hourly chart here, and I'm sure a lot of people out there have also noticed, 33,000 has been kind of some kind of support the entire month of July. 33,000 has been a clear and obvious support where we have bounced off on the hourly over and over and over, and we'll go down below it just a touch and then come back up and bounce off of it, and it just keeps coming and coming and coming and coming. 33,000. We did it again just last candle, last hourly candle, some sort of support. I almost think that might be kind of the last the last chance before the abyss. We broke down and through it. We never broke down under 32 in the last 2 weeks or so. But that 33,000 is definitely some kind of support. So watch out. If it breaks down below 33,000 again, it might not come back up there. But that's just speculation. But I'm happy with my last video. If you guys watch that, that's basically playing out. I wanted to make the point of this video to say, you know, basically in my last video, I was given kind of the impression that we might come down and do something like this, right? Or maybe even something like this, and, you know, so maybe it just gets real boring, right? And Bitcoin kind of comes down here and comes back up here and 33, and then maybe it comes back, you know, does something like this, and it comes back up, and maybe we go up here and test the top of the channel again, and, you know, maybe we kind of do like this, and, right? So maybe it just gets really boring. So, you know, the end of July, we're still sitting at 33,000, right? July 28th, we're exactly where we're at right now. But this channel does go down. Money is leaving this market. No matter what anyone wants to tell you, money is leaving this market. And that's the rate it's leaving at, that channel going down. Maybe it just gets boring. And I'd like to have some super exciting thing to tell you in this video, but it could just be a series of dumps and pumps and dumps and pumps and dumps and pumps and pumps and dumps and dumps. Who knows for sure? I would say something kind of like this is probably looking pretty good still. I still am going with that Wyckoff cycle playing out. But until volume comes in, if you just want to watch the volume, until giant red bars or giant green bars show up, it's just really not going to do anything but go kind of sideways in a downward trajectory over time. Now, if you go to the hourly chart, I was watching this earlier, and it's on an hourly chart. Well, the big red bar showed up since then, but there was a big green bar about 5 or 6 hours ago. And you look at, if you're watching on the hourly chart, you might think, "Oh my goodness, here it comes!" Amazing volume. Look at it. But then if you just go back to that's why I'm charting all this on a daily, right? The daily is showing. The daily, you can look and see the cycle, right? Lots of traders will go down into the hourly or the 5 minute or the 1 minute, right? And just kind of play the trading games down there. But if you go to a bigger time frame, right, that big green bar that I just showed on hourly is actually inside of this little short red bar, right? So everything I'm saying is pretty good. Charting it off this daily chart, maybe it comes back up and above the channel, maybe it rides the top of the channel down or something. But doing something like this is unlikely at this point. But with that being said, if it were to do this for into October, November, maybe it does do something like that, and it turns out that 26,000 was the bottom. But I'm still looking at the dive down to 20,000, and I don't want to tell people to buy at 20,000, 17 and 20,000, because there's a chance, looking at this cycle, right? There's a chance it could dive down to 9,000, 10,000, and if anyone tells you that's not possible, they're absolutely wrong. A FUD storm up here brewing, big FUD clouds up here happening. A FUD storm could drop this sucker, right? And if that happens, it's going to be a long time before there's any motivated investors. So I know in a lot of my videos I've been saying 17 to 20,000 is where you should probably start buying. But if it does dump down here like this, just be careful, because it could, we might be looking at 9,000, 10,000. So don't get too aggressive, and just keep an eye on it. I would recommend this daily chart for charting the whole cycle. It is playing out pretty good for me, and I guess that's it. I hope you enjoyed this show, and as always, thanks for watching.